So I'd like to talk today about the shadow, what we call in Gene Keys the shadow, and what it means to transform one's shadow. What do we mean by that? It sounds very simple. And in fact, it is the very essence of this entire work, of my work with the Gene Keys. And it is applicable and of use to any human being alive. So when we say shadow, what we're really referring to is those aspects of our nature that cause us to suffer. You know, all human beings suffer. We all know suffering in varying degrees. And the shadow it can be many things. It can be the aspects of our nature that lie deep in our unconscious that we don't accept about ourselves and that are repressed, or that we vent regularly, but we still are not comfortable. It could be rage, it could be fear, it could be any number of difficult emotions that are kind of blocked up inside us, that cause us difficulty, that cause us challenge. So the shadow is everything that is unprocessed, is everything about ourselves that we don't like, that we don't feel comfortable about. And you know, it is the very reason that we suffer in life. It is ultimately rooted in fear, and I would say it's ultimately rooted in the fear of death at the deepest level. And if you think you're not afraid of death, then look again into that fear deeply. The fear of annihilation, the fear that you may no longer exist, or the fear of dying, or the fear of pain, the fear of loss. All of those things are connected to the fear of death. So the shadow is all of that and much more. And what do we do with it all? You know, how the Gene Keys is a system and a modality for embracing the shadow and getting to know it and unlocking even its higher purpose, its higher meaning. You know, because that is the whole kind of essence of Gene Keys, is that every shadow contains a gift. That is a one-liner I often speak. And it's not just a cute one-liner. It is actually possibly the greatest truth humanity could ever discover. Every shadow contains a gift. Every cloud has a silver lining, whatever cliche you wish to use. So let's be serious for a moment. Like, anyone watching this, you know, in your life right now, you will have things that are deeply disturbing to you, that are uncomfortable, whether it's your health, whether it's your emotions, your relationships, whether it's your loved ones, whatever it is. We all have these deep shadow patterns. And what the Gene Keys can do is they can give you a mirror, but that's a mirror that has a very soft sheen to it. So when you hold up this mirror, you know, and you look into your suffering, and you have the courage to look it in the face and feel it for what it is, then with this soft mirror, you can begin to feel different about yourself and about others. Because the softness in the mirror is compassion, self-compassion. It is all that's best inside you. It's compassion, it's virtue, it's patience, it's tenderness, it's forgiveness, it's hope. It's many, many beautiful qualities that also reside in us. And this is what the Gene Keys also show us. They show us shadow patterns, but they show us what's hidden inside those shadow patterns. So when you take a shadow, you can look and you can kind of crack it open and see, well, what's waiting inside? What's the treasure hidden in that shadow? And then the whole work is the alchemy of how do we shape that? How do we grow that shadow out and transform it into that beautiful thing inside itself? And that's a long labor for all of us. Because we come with baggage. We come with what the ancients call karma. And the baggage we carry with us, we will have to transform. We will have to face it. And whether you believe in reincarnation or any of those things, we carry it with us forward. We've got to do something with it. We have to reshape it. We have to make the most out of our lives. And that begins with acceptance. And acceptance sounds like such a simple thing, and yet it's subtle and deep and challenging, because you have to look at, first of all, well, what is it? What is the pattern inside me that is causing me this pain? And then the first stage of acceptance is allowing. You allow it. You just allow it. And this is what mindfulness does, or this is what contemplation does, or this is what good meditation does. It takes you to a place where you can just see it without any agenda, without even your hopes that it'll go, without your fears, without anything added. Just, this is the pattern right here, right now. Close your eyes. Feel it in your body. It has a place. It has a story. But we don't even need to worry about the story right now. You just want to go right into the seed impulse. Because inside that is where there's something waiting for you to discover. Now, this is a process. It's a process, but the technique, if you like, of contemplation allows you to look at these shadows in a kinder light, to look at yourself in a kinder light, to look at others in a kinder light, a softer light, to just allow for the possibility, even at the beginning, that it could change, it could mutate. There is that possibility. So the first thing is just allow for the possibility that that pattern can change, it can be transformed. And feel that little tiny pinprick of light, of hope, of like, this may get better. Actually, it could. It all depends on how I see it. And that's really that's the core, that's the first thing, the allowing. And as you do that, and you do that repeatedly, and you continue to just look honestly and softly at the pattern for what it is, and you forgive yourself for when you lose it, or when you lose yourself in the suffering, and then you come back out, or you're overwhelmed by it. It could be grief. We have so much stuff inside our bodies, whether it's grief, whether it's rage, whether it's what kind of torment it is. We carry ancestral anguish inside us. It's not even of this life. It's from our ancestors. And we all carry these memories of those difficult things inside us. But there's also a reason. There's a reason for everything. There's a deeper reason, and you have to realize that you need to find that reason, that sense of higher purpose. You don't have to understand it, but you just have to allow that glint of light that there may be a higher purpose for this. My life could look very different one day. So we have to work with these patterns inside us, and they're very physical. Ultimately they're very physical. They're grounded in our physical bodies, but they're also very emotional. They have physical, emotional, and mental components. We also have spiritual components, but that's what's hiding behind. So we have to be gentle with our physical bodies. We have to try and eat well, sleep well if we can. That's possibly the pattern itself will prevent that in the beginning. And so that's something to work with, that as we become more intimate with the pattern and we become softer in our approach towards ourselves, and we learn to kind of look differently at the shadow, then many things in our biochemistry will change. And I may make this sound really easy, and I really know that it isn't, and I know that it goes on for a long time. I know my own has, but what I can say is that over time it does get softer, and the pain gets less, and the body mutates, and the emotions become calmer and quieter, and the mind becomes clearer. But it takes time. So the Gene Keys provides you with a whole world in which it constantly reminds you about this. Like, be gentle with yourself. Enter into this field of contemplation. Realize that every shadow has a higher purpose. Locate the shadow. Disable it with your mind first. See the mind, how the mind controls it, and then begin to unravel all that. And the Gene Keys provides you these resources, whether it's through your activation sequence, the main Gene Keys book, little book on contemplation. I recommend that. Ways of really going deeper into these processes, and also getting the support from the people who are also doing the same, on the same journey. Those people have wonderful stories and gifts and advice in the Gene Keys Society to help you, and some of the ambassadors, all the ambassadors of the Gene Keys who've gone very deeply into this transmission, into this wisdom, and they can be of great help and offer their guidance and just their love as you move through difficult areas in your own life. But we are here, the Gene Keys community, to help you. So whoever you are and whatever you bring here, this may not be the only answer to your problems, but it certainly will address the core issue. It's like Buddha said, like all life is suffering. That was a core statement, and the core statement of Gene Keys is every shadow contains a gift. Yeah, that's actually a distillation of the teachings of the Buddha, and in many ways other great teachers as well. We are here to find a pathway towards love, and our bodies hold these patterns, these residues of these shadows, and there are ways to transmute them. But first we have to just allow the possibility that we could get better. And we're going to go into a very deep, probably lengthy process. You're probably already in the middle of that, of learning to allow, to accept, and to embrace the shadow along with it. So know that you are very welcome here, and that there is a mode and a way for you to experience a considerable change in the way in which your life operates, and to find something extraordinary inside yourself, something creative and dynamic, and that you've always known was really there. And it's going to be a unique journey for each of us, but we can take that journey together. So I hope that when you come into Gene Keys, you find all these resources. They're all created really for the purpose of softening into these shadows and transforming them. So please make use of them, and I hope your journey is a deeply fulfilling one.